Hello, my name's Jane Johns and I'm a certain age, over 70, and I have macular degeneration. And when I was diagnosed about 12 years ago, it felt like the end of the world. I was at the hospital on my own, and I was told I got macular disease, and I was meeting my daughter in town, and I walked from the hospital to town and cried all the way. And I thought it was the end of the world. I've since discovered that it isn't, but that's the way you probably feel at the moment. I had to wait quite a long time before I had an appointment with macular degeneration specialist, which was quite galling really, because the next day after having seen him, I had an injection into my eye, which was the most frightening prospect because I hate eyes. And anticipation is so much worse than the event because it was absolutely fine, just a funny little feeling. And it made things better. And so it was very worthwhile. I tried in those days, which sounds funny to say in those days because it isn't that long ago, there wasn't so much information about. And I went onto the computer to look up what this was all about. And the first thing I came across was blind. So I turned it off straight away and didn't want to know. And then my daughter sent me a book about it, which was so old-fashioned, it just wasn't true. So that went in the bin as well. And then I saw this advertisement in our local paper about a meeting for the Macular Society. And I went along, and it was run by Amanda Reed, who is the local manager for the Macular Society. She has a great big region, but I'd say local. And there were quite a number of people there, and I'm sure we all felt a bit strange because we had to sort of say our name and that sort of thing. And there were several elderly ladies in particular there who said that they'd got this macular degeneration and they'd just been sent away from the hospital because there was nothing that could be done. And here was I in a situation where there was now treatment. And I thought, this is terrible for these people that nothing can be done because they've just been left high and dry. And it was fairly obvious that they were high and dry. So the point of the meeting was to set up a macular support group, excuse me. And I went along to the first meeting, and Amanda was there and was running the meeting. And it was very friendly, very helpful, very supportive. And before I knew it, I was the leader of this group, based on the principle that one volunteer is worth 10 pressed men. And I really did feel a bit like that. But from somebody who is not a groupie, which I'm not, I would hesitate to say that it probably saved my life because I've learned so much. I've met some wonderful people. And I've got an awful lot out of it myself, and hopefully I've given to other people. I'm a registered speaker for the Macular Society, and that has led me to all sorts of things, and some high-powered, some not. And just have to stop a moment. Don't know what to say now. How many minutes is that?
Might be able to pause recording. To pause and have a little think.
No, it's okay. And it's surprising. I need to say I'm starting again.
Yeah, that's okay.
Off again. It's surprising where you have opportunities to talk about macular disease in all sorts of settings. And I was on a cruise with a friend of mine, and I was sitting at a table, and I was using a guiding cane to get about. And a woman at the next table leaned over and tapped my shoulder and said to me, "Why have you got that?" And so I told her, and she said, "Oh, I've got that." So we went, and we had to be asked to leave the dining room eventually because we were so deep in conversation. And it was really quite interesting because this lady's husband immediately got up and walked out. And he was obviously not coping with this very well at all. And she reiterated that that was the case. And we kept in touch a little bit. And then I met somebody at a conference who was working in Glasgow, where this lady came from. And the upshot of it was that this person, whose name I can't remember, what she did, but she asked for permission for this, my contacts, contact details, and she now has help from somebody in Glasgow, and hopefully things are a little bit better for her. And that's the value of keeping in touch and going to groups and things like that. As I've already said, I'm the leader of the group, and they're quite a noisy, friendly group, and some fantastic relationships have been formed as a result of this. And I have got as much out of the group as I hope that they have. I actually know that they have because they tell me all the time. And if I tell you that I'm going away next week, and I've had a phone call this morning from one of our members to say, watch the trains because some of them are cancelled because of staff shortages. And that's the sort of relationship you build up with some of the group members. I've had several phone calls as a leader about difficult situations, and I've been able to point people in the right direction, and they've achieved what they wanted to achieve. So do join a group if you can. You may not be a groupie, I'm not, but you will get lots of help and lots of support, and you'll get support about things like toothpaste and what colour toothpaste to use, and all sorts of silly little things that you don't think about until you come to use it. And then you'll get support about how to go on a train. I go on a train and I use the train assistance situation, which is absolutely excellent, and I thoroughly recommend it to anybody. And you meet some lovely people helping you there too. If you're watching this, you may think that your diagnosis is the end of the world. And yes, you probably feel like it at the moment, but it isn't really. You will adapt in all sorts of ways that you don't even know about yet. You won't lose the skills that you've got. You might not be able to do some of the things that you would like to do. My interests before I was sight impaired were fine needlework and music and things like that. And I can't do fine needlework anymore, but I can appreciate other people doing it. And I can crochet because I can feel it. And that's really fantastic. And I've just made a blanket for my grandson who's going to university. So you won't lose the skills that you've already got. And some of the skills that you already have will be enhanced, and you will learn new skills too, but you don't lose the skills that you've already got. And there's all sorts of people that can help you with this. There's gadget guides, there's skills for sight and those sort of things that the Macular Society provide, and your family can help you. One of the things about families is sometimes they're a bit over helpful, and you need to guard against that perhaps, because you need to retain your independence, and that's sometimes really quite difficult. One of my sons-in-law grabs hold of me every time I see him to help me, and he's so tall that I end up with shoulder ache because I'm, hanging onto his arm because he expects me to, and I'd much rather not. And it's so much handier when you're going out somewhere if you know where you're going, but there's plenty of people that can help you. And if you do have any problems or worries that you feel are insurmountable, the Macular Society has got the most amazing helpline, and they will help you. They may not have an answer straight away, but they'll come back to you with an answer for your particular problem. So please don't feel you're on your own. Your family will also learn a great deal about themselves and about you and about sight impairment. And that has a great value in society today because you understand a little bit more about how people live. I live on my own and I cope okay. I haven't chopped my fingers off. I've got a cat and we live quite harmoniously together, and I have a gardener and a lady to clean because My daughter likes to run her finger along the mantelpiece, and I couldn't cope with that. So she comes along and helps me with my cleaning because I get attendance allowance, and that helps me to pay for that. So all is not lost. Be brave and courageous, and it'll be fine.